Siblings are fun. Siblings are inseparable. Siblings are our pillars of strength throughout our lives. But do you remember the wee bit of jealousy we felt towards a sibling when our parents cast an extra loving glance towards them? Or a similar thing happening with you and your children when you seem to be walking on a tightrope trying not to play favorites with them, or at least show you are not doing so? Well, that is sibling rivalry for you, an extremely normal human emotion, but requires a whole lot of emotional intelligence on the part of us parents to ensure it doesn't get out of hand. So as you have guessed by now, today I shall be talking about various tips and tricks that I have collated over the years from textbooks, from my patients and from my own personal experience to keep sibling rivalry under control. Hi, this is Dr. Kiran Sodhi welcoming you all to my channel Pedia Talks. Request you all to subscribe to my channel so that you get to know whenever I upload a new video. Also request you to please share my videos with your friends and groups so that I can reach out to more people. I'll be covering up this issue in two separate videos. This one will be about preparing your child for arrival of a sibling, as seeds of rivalry are sown even before the birth of the baby. The second part shall pertain to managing the growing up phase of the children so that the rivalry among them remains only at a stage of being a positive influencer in their respective lives. Preparing the child for the birth of a sibling. Once the news of the pregnancy is confirmed, child, however big or small, should be told that they would be getting a companion soon. This should be told in a way that they will look forward to the new arrival. Include the child in simple decision making for the new baby, for example, where the baby would sleep, where their clothes will be kept, etc. At this juncture, you could also start preparing the child for the baby's requirements, like sleeping next to the mother, taking breastfeeds, so that it doesn't come as a shock after the baby's birth that the mother needs to be shared. Make the child feel proud of being big and grown up, who would be able to help the mother in taking care of a baby who is much smaller than them. This way, they feel a sense of responsibility towards a tiny sibling rather than feeling insolent about the attention that is going to be riveted onto the new arrival. Show the child your love towards them repeatedly so that the child is secure in the knowledge that come what may, the arrival of the baby will not affect the parental love for the child. Make the child know that the parent's love will only get multiplied and not divided. Although you need to prepare the child for the new arrival, it should not, however, become only about the baby. You should continue all the activities towards the child as before. It is a good time to get the father even more involved with the child if due to work pressure he earlier was not. The father's role will grow increasingly in taking care of the child, especially emotionally, with the mother getting busy and tired tending to the baby. When the mother has to go for the delivery to the hospital, make good arrangement for the child when they will be left behind for a few days. Avoid leaving the child with a complete stranger. Prefer to have a loving relative over, or if that is not possible, the child may be sent to a relative they love and trust. You should prepare the child in becoming as independent as the age permits, for example, toilet training, self-feeding, self-care, homework, packing bags, etc. Once the dependence reduces, the child will have lesser reasons to feel left out. With a baby's arrival, some adjustments have to be made in the older sibling's life. For example, moving the child to a separate cot or to a separate room, moving them to a daycare or preschool. Please ensure that these changes are made much before the baby is due, so that the child gets used to them by the time the baby arrives and doesn't feel that they have been displaced by the baby. Many times we tend to vent out our frustration on the child and may tell them that we, parents, would leave the child if they are naughty or will love the baby more than them. Please, never do that. These words, said even jokingly, are heart-bringers of a lot of emotional upheaval in the child and may lead to a deep-rooted negativity towards the sibling. Managing the child at the birth of the sibling. After the birth of the baby, make it a point to take the older child to the hospital for regular visits till the mother is discharged. It is a good idea when during the child's first visit after the baby's birth, the mother concentrates on pampers the older child for a while and then introduces the baby to them. This will make the child feel emotionally secure and very loving towards the sibling. For obvious reasons, no comparison should be made by the relatives or parents between the two children under any circumstances. When returning home from hospital to the home with the baby, prefer to have the older child also with you. This gives them a grown-up feeling as if they too are in control and a feeling of warmth in bringing the sibling home. At home with the baby. As done earlier, continue to include the child in decision making for the baby, making them feel important and responsible. These may be little things like, do you think the baby is hungry? Do you think the baby wants to come in my lap? These are small things where you don't need the child's opinion. You just want them to feel involved and get a sense of pride and importance that the parent cares for their opinion and they don't feel neglected. You may make the child do simple tasks for the baby like bringing the diapers and clothes from the almirah, massaging the baby on the legs, putting soap on a small part of the body, and so many other things depending on the age, maturity, and interest of the child. But remember, it is easy to overdo this, so be careful that this so-called helping doesn't become an unpleasant duty for the child which they'll start resenting instead of enjoying. You must allow the child to play with the baby, initially under supervision and to an extent that their age and maturity can handle. Later, they may be left alone with the baby after it has been ensured that they are not likely to advertently or inadvertently hurt the baby. Interaction and bonding of the child with the baby is essential so that feeling of love and protectiveness replaces the feelings of jealousy. Avoid too many admonitions and do's and don'ts during these interactions as it may actually be counterproductive to development of the initial sibling bonding. In the initial few months, you may have to go all out to ensure that the older child's routine is not disturbed too much and they continue to feel as loved and secure as they felt earlier. For example, when the mother needs to pick up the baby to feed or soothe them, the father or the caretaker should go out of the way to engage with the older child so that they are not left out. Similarly, when the baby has been fed and is quiet or sleeping, the mother may pick up the older child onto her lap or in any other way spend quality time with them like before. This reinstills faith in the child that the mother is available to both the siblings. Thank you. Stay tuned for the second part of sibling rivalry, where I will talk about managing the rivalry among siblings during the growing up phase at home.